Oh, hi there. See the steam rising up from my tea. It's a little cold here, and the glare is coming in, so there's a lot of light. It's tough for me to read chat. It's tougher for me to see the screen. But I'm gonna play some games on lishogi today. I do not have much time. I don't have more than 2 hours. As I've mentioned before, we've had some problems in the past, and currently again with some leaking inside these windows that were put in. And it's an ongoing affair, but we have a general contractor coming today to take a look. And it's going to be, he said he'll be available after 11:30. So it's 9:30 my time. And so we'll see. So I'll be cutting it off somewhere around there. And I'll just play some casual games on lishogi. Let's see. What is this? Is that mini shogi? Is that naka shogi? I don't know what this is. Don't care. All right, I'll create a game. I'll create a game. 10:30, standard, any size, casual. There we go. We'll see. Got my flag on there. Got the rating on there. Whatever that rating means. Ernie Ernie SK, he wants to play a rated 3.0 game. Interesting. Yeah, so that's really where that shared rating is going to get interesting. And here he is. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And it's my turn. Oops, I did my scene wrong. I did my scene wrong again. I didn't switch the scene. Maybe I need to also put the face into the full browser scene, just in case I do something like this again. Wonder how strong this player is. We'll see. Hey Rico, good to see you again. Pause. So let me scroll up just to see, was there any chat? Okay, there's no good luck, have fun, or anything like that. Because I can't, on my screen, the way my layout is, I can't see the chat or anything like that. Oh, it's my move. I wish I could change this color. I wonder if you can. Like I said before anyone came on, there is so much glare coming in through the windows right now. You might be able to see some of it in the camera, but there's so much glare coming in that like seeing this very light yellow, this low contrast light yellow color is actually quite difficult right now. I've got on my side of the screen. On my side of the screen, there's sort of like a swath of glare right here. As the winter is going on, I noticed that some of the stuff that I put up in the side of the window to minimize the glare through the other part of the year is now starting to it's starting to get like under that. And it's the winter light is sort of like a harsher light. Shifting around here, I'm not feeling all that like comfortable. Okay, let's get up here. Not terribly worried about this. I don't think Urshin or Ryu channel really responds to this. I don't think Urshino Sensei responds to it. I don't think it's bad to, but I don't think there's any need to. You know, we're looking to make our quick attack. Especially while the king is there. So I'll bring my silver up rather than pushing this pawn because it would take 2 moves to get this. One thing about this move is that, let me clear about, one thing about this move is that when, this happens and, this, and we get the exchange and then they drop a pawn, we come back, this comes back with tempo, which is, important there. So it's something to keep in mind as the player that's going to open up this diagonal. A good podcast. Yeah, I definitely like, got the 30 stream streak. Nice. One thing I really like about the beginners is that it does, like you say, it gives you stuff to think about, and it shows because we can sometimes be blind to some of the things that are happening in the community or the world or with the game. And so maybe just getting refreshed is good. I definitely like having the mix. I love talking to, super strong players. I love talking to, middle of the road players. I like talking to the beginners. Everyone, as long as they've got something to say, I want to listen. So I love the interview ones. I love the interview podcast episodes. And sort of inspired by it, I did get it's like a $12 speed cube from Amazon, but it was like rated really highly. It's like the one that you're supposed to get, I guess, if you're looking for one. And so it's so this comes with check. This comes with check, which is nasty. And then this will come with tempo, which is also nasty. It says your opponent left the game. You can claim victory in 8 seconds. Let me switch this. Let me show this in the UI. Can anyone see this? Can you see this? Your opponent left the game. Hey, Ghost One. It's just a casual game. It's just it's just a casual game. Maybe I wonder what I'm going to sit here. I'll sit here for a bit. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for a little bit here, and see what happens. But it's just a casual game. Just if you want to leave, resign. But I wonder how lishogi detects this. Like, they detect the disconnect, but like plenty of people disconnect and reconnect in games. I wonder what their algorithm is. I think I did say hello, Ghost One. I think I did, but just in case, double hello. My brain, I can sometimes not remember what I said literally a minute ago. Rico, you say you were reminded this weekend that we actually do desperately need a beginner Tsume book, and you wonder if you should focus on that instead of the proverb book. Well, we do have obviously you know this because I know that you also like this book. But which pieces do you need to mate, or which pieces do you need to mate by Katagami? I believe is a good one. I think the Seigo Sato Tsume books are pretty nice. They're beginner, they're beginner-ish. But that's it. So it would be nice, especially if a book that you did was able to channel your artistic ability to have like some cool, I don't know, avatar or something other than just the board. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, it's why I'm often envious of people who are great artistically. I know that I apologize if that is actually, so I know I recently heard in the past year I have heard an artist sort of get upset at someone saying, "Oh, well, you're I wish I was as good as you at drawing," for example. And the person said, like, "Do you know how much work I put into this? I'm not good at drawing. I have done, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of practice and study. So, like, for someone to say, 'Oh, I'm not good at that,' is almost diminishing or is almost discounting all the effort that it takes to get good at that kind of stuff. So I don't mean it in that way. I don't mean it. I don't mean and I don't mean it in that way. But I do also, regardless, I do believe that some people are naturally more inclined to that. Although, to be fair, maybe I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, lishogi definitely has some updates. We talked about this, was it a week or so ago? Yeah, it came out on New Year's or New Year's Eve. Yeah, we do have the T. Gene Davis book. But yeah, lishogi has sound. I don't know if you've heard the Sound Gust one. The Byoyomi sounds. All right, I'm going to claim victory and get a new one. So I'm going to set 5 minutes. I'll set this to 5 minutes so we more quickly get to the Byoyomi. Actually, no. I'm going to set it to just 0:30. I was watching some Utsunomiya Shogi channel this morning, and I was thinking I should play more 0:30. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Ghost 1, all right. Where's my scene? Am I in my shogi scene? All right. So here we go. Urushi no Ryu. I don't have a Torizashi. Hey, Emperor X, good day. You could learn to play. Yeah, the fact is the daydreaming is the point. Yeah.
10秒
Yeah, okay, so I'm listening. Oh, well, you can hear for yourself too. But yeah. I use the Japan robot.
20秒 1
Let me make my move. I use Robot JP. That animation. Good times.
10秒
Okay. Let's see. I wasn't sure if you were an Ishida player. Um,
10秒
all right. Darn. I should have made this move. I was thinking about it too. I was thinking about it. Got to get that lishogi pre-move tactic. All right.
10秒、
Hey, Todasi, yeah, pushing the rook pawn would have been nice too. But now that Ghost One knows that I'm watching for the pre-moves, he could feint it. Oh, man. The mind games, the Shogi mind games.
10秒、 20秒、1、2、3。
All right, let's come up. So this is very similar to if not exact, to the lines that I play
10秒、
relatively often on my Sunday morning over the board club games. I think. I don't think I've messed it up.
10秒、 10秒、 20秒、1、2、3、4、5、6。10秒、 10秒、 20秒、 10秒、
This is a position like many of the positions, like many of my positions. This is a position taught to me by Koshiro, and I hope I'm playing it well.
10秒、 10秒、
I think ideally I'd also like to have these moves in here.
20秒、 10秒、 20秒、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9。
No, that's why I need this move.
10秒、 20秒、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, did you have your sound on? So I think this is maybe how we would proceed. Oh, your internet failed. Oh. Rico, I think that'd be great. Yeah, I think I think people, I think having a solid book of beginner-friendly 1, 3, and 5 problems would be awesome. You know, because there is a difference. You know, not all 5 move tsumes are created equally, as you know. And I think getting a beginner to think ahead in like 5 moves, 3 moves, 5 moves, I think that would be valuable. You know, especially if these are possible to sort of, you know, deal with. So I want to go into the analysis board here. I don't know what this study with opponent. I still don't know to this day what that study with opponent does. So which way is it here? It is take with this side, yeah. So okay, so the engine's calling for what? Oh wait, no, so they made the move. Oh, I am Gote. I am Gote here. Okay, okay. So yeah, so I take. Oh, this is the number. This is the move. This is the move. So if this happens, then I come back and I take. That was what I was thinking. So I come back, he brings the pawn, and then I take. Oh, I take with the pawn. Interesting. Or this. Which is kind of scary. Well, he has, yeah, no, Gust 1 does have a pawn. Gust 1 does have a pawn. So what's the deal here? Oh, I would just take. I would just take. Yeah, the rook is still defending there. Okay. Yeah, this is a real hey Gabrielle. Yeah, this is a real interesting position, and I think this knight also, we get into a spot here where the knight can be traded off. So once the pawn is cleared in this file, like once the pawn is cleared off of 5-5, we get a spot where we can just start coming in and trying to take the knight. So this battery of these silvers is kind of crazy strong. And the first time I ever used this against my regular playing partner, it got me a real nice position. I think the first time, ever since Koshiro has shown me this approach, it has given me some real nice positions. Well, this is nasty because now we have this. We have the I assume 5-7. Yeah, that was the number 1 engine move. Yeah, and we just start winning some stuff. Yeah, that feels really good. You know, obviously not winning by any means, but it feels like we've got attacks. You know, we've got moves to make. We've got threats. The castle is in a little bit of a bad shape there. So Rico, you say that your idea is to teach players how to do tsume through the problems themselves. Perfect. Today is a day where I have done repeated greetings, so apologies if I already greeted you less than a minute ago. My brain is not remembering what I'm saying. So hello. Thank you for stopping by. If I take with the bishop, you think the silver can develop with tempo? Oh, they're silver. Yeah, they're silver also. Yeah, you're totally right. Especially since taking with the pawn still defends with the rook. And it opens potentially this file to get my rook in, which I think could be useful. So this one, yeah, the engine, it seems like it does not like this, which makes sense because we have given up a silver. We have given up a silver if, like, what happens? This or this? We're going to get back this gold, then we're down. Hey, Killer Ducky. Oh, why not rated? Because I am not going to play on the. I don't believe in the lishogi ratings. I'm not going to play that game. I'm not playing that game of playing against massively underrated players, or losing against massively underrated players, and everyone is either super overrated or super underrated. I'm just not. I'm not in that life. I don't care about lishogi ratings, and so I don't want to make myself care about them. Yeah, hopefully that podcast episode is fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. To the point where, as I think I mentioned yesterday, I briefly said, I did get a speed cube. Most ratings look at seem correct. Get out of here. You're like 4 done. Come on. There was some Japanese like 2000 level lishogi player that I saw on here who was like 1Q. I don't remember the username. He was 1Q. The person he was playing was like Shodan. The person he was playing and losing to was like Shodan. Oh, you're 3 Dan? Okay, I thought you were 4 Dan. 3 Dan still seems pretty. 3 Dan still seems pretty inflated. Because 81 Dojo, I think, is pretty inflated. Is a little inflated. But maybe, maybe. And this is not to criticize you by any means. And you've been playing, so I mean, you could definitely be getting better. But yeah, the ratings I see just seem the ratings for people I see that I know of, they seem off, to say the least. Rico, you don't think 81 Dojo is inflated. You think Shogi Wars is deflated. That's possible. Possible. Well, there are people there are people all of a sudden who are like 2Q despite being like 7Q. I think at the Q levels it's super inflated because they start people at 1500. Capybara, hello, hello. I think the reason that I think 81 Dojo is inflated, well, 2 reasons, is that one, my rating still feels completely illegitimate, despite the fact that I have been putting it out there and it's kind of hanging tough. But also just because I still do think that Shogi Wars is, for the most part, the most. Oh, I've got it. This is the general contractor up. Sorry. That was the, like I said, that's the general contractor that'll be coming out to take a look at this leak, which we've had going on forever. Going on forever. It's the same leak that caused me to miss that Brazil tournament a year or so ago, or maybe it was less than a year, like 9 months ago. But that tournament that I had to miss because the water was coming in through the windows. It's the same basic cause. It's minimized since the last time people came out to fix it, but I think the core problem is still there. So, and we've been having a ton of rain in Northern California past few days, past couple weeks. Oh, Rico, that's an interesting insight that 81 Dojo lines up pretty decently with what any shogi book will guess your rank at. Interesting. Benjamin Shuit, depending on the day, you can be 5 Dan or 5Q. That's me. That is me. 81 Promise, hello. Can you post links? I don't know. Can you? I don't. That's my Pee Wee Herman. That's my Pee Wee Herman impression. My bad Pee Wee Herman impression. I imagine you can. If it's just self promotional stuff, I reserve the right to delete it. But yeah. But definitely, it's a pretty open channel. Oh, but anyway, so speaking of that contractor, he's gonna be here in the next hour, he said. So, we are, we have some time. Oh, it's so Capybara, yeah, OTB, you say, depending on the day, you play between 1 Dan and 4Q. Yeah, I think for me, I think I've mostly stabilized my over the board play. I think I can play. So when I am playing over the board, like I said, I think I've mostly stabilized. I play around or above my online level over the board pretty consistently. But if I'm playing someone I don't know, I've never played and I don't know, I think my rating drops at least 2 to 3 ranks. And I don't know why that is. I think because my speculation has been that I think my brain subconsciously, if I don't know them, that pretty much means they're relatively new to the scene. For the most part, it means they're pretty new to the area, new to the scene. Which means they're probably relatively new to shogi. So I sort of start going into non-tryhard mode. And when I am in non-tryhard mode, my rank goes, I would say I am at least, like, especially online. Like, if I am not in tryhard mode, I am three ranks worse, at least. And I just, it really makes me, I don't want to say respect, but sort of respect the players that can just sort of casually play great moves. Like, they go and they're having fun and they're just playing, and it seems like they play so well. I don't have that. I have to be fully engaged. Nintendo Direct. I have to be direct to the board. I have to be fully engaged on the board with all my sort of focus. Otherwise, I'll just be hanging stuff. But otherwise, like, I do think that my consistency when I am focused has gotten a lot better. I don't have many games that I can think of where I go away from the club and it's like, oh gosh, I just played 2 stinkers. You know, I just played two just absolute snoozers. I don't think so. I think now the games, you know, sure, I make blunders and I make some bad moves, or I don't convert some good positions or whatnot. But for the most part, I'm very happy with my play when I've played over the board, which is not at all the case with my online stuff. You know, I'll come out of these streams, or like the last San Francisco Shogi Club monthly online meetup that I did stream. It was on 81 Dojo, and I can't remember how I lost one of the games. It might have been a Nifu. It might have been something else. It might have been something equally stupid. But it was just extremely unsatisfying. And I don't have many of those when I'm playing over the board anymore. So anyway, I don't know how we got into that topic. So yeah, hey Capybara, you said at one tournament you defeated two Don players, and next you lost to a 6Q. I could see that. But you're also in Europe. That rating system also seems kind of whack. I'm just going to say that. Like it seems like for the most part, there's just not enough sample size. So I don't know if this was a true 6Q or if this was just someone who is much higher than that. Rico, you've gotten a lot better at playing against lower rated players. At the LA tourney, you rushed too much against them and realized slowing down is the key to maintaining your skill difference. So that is something that I have, you know, because this has been a major problem for me playing at the club. Especially at the one club. The one club that I don't go to as much anymore, or almost ever anymore. The one that's actually 5 minutes away from me. That's the one I don't go to. For a variety of reasons, mostly because of those pieces. You know, we've had this discussion about those pieces. And I hate playing with those pieces. But that is one of the multiple reasons that I have not been going as much to that club. I would go there, and this is not one of the reasons I'm saying this, is that, you know, I'd go to the game and it'd be sort of against a newish player, and I'd be, you know, this is when I was, let's just say 1Q or 2Q Shogi Wars. So I call that solid. If someone says I'm 1Q or 2Q Shogi Wars, to me that means they're taking the game seriously. Not that people lower that are not taking the game seriously, but like I'm using that as a rating to say that I feel that's almost significantly above beginner. You know, maybe I don't want to say significantly, but like it's in my mind it's absolutely above beginner level. And I'm playing people who don't, and I would go to play and I'd play someone who, sure, they might know chess. You know, they might come, you know, the whole chess thing really throws that whole equation into whack. You know, because some chess players more than others can really grasp shogi quickly. But anyway, you know, play someone who's relatively new, or, you know, relatively new and relatively young or something like that. And I just go ham. And I start, it's like, you know, it's like I know they're beginner or I know they're new, and I get out of try hard mode. So I get into this mode of, it's like, well, what if I just do this? You know, I could do this, you know, this looks interesting, or, you know, I don't read through an attack. So I don't read through an attack, but it looks scary. So I just make the attack. And, you know, it turns out it was a stupid attack. And now all of a sudden I'm in a bad spot and I'm fighting my way back just to try to maintain it, figuring, okay, I've given up. I've lost a major piece because of this dumb attack, but they're not going to know how to checkmate, or, you know, something like that. And then sure enough, some of those games, they do know how to checkmate, or I don't make it tricky enough for them. And so I really struggled against those players because of that. I would just make lots of speculative attacks that I would never make against someone, you know, who I know to be like Shodan, or I know to be threed on. And so I would lose those games and then just feel terrible about myself. Absolutely terrible about myself. And again, this is not one of the reasons why I stopped going to that club. But it certainly is a reason why I lost a lot of sleep, because losing those games and then hearing someone later be like, oh yeah, I beat Frank. It's like, oh gosh, it's just like, oh, it's just so it's rough. It's rough. Capybara, you say that the best for tool against lower ranked players is just playing steady good moves and wait until they inevitably blunder. Yeah. I think that's along the same lines that Rico is getting at, and that's where I have come down on it. That's totally where I've come down on it, and I'm still not perfect at it. I still, especially like with Urshin or Ryu, let's say I get a speculative attack and it's like, should I just do it? Should I just do it? Should I just do it? And then I'll do it, and it won't be good, and then I'll have to scramble just to stay to win the game. But yeah, that is one of the downsides with Urshin or Ryu, is that a lot of times it's harder to play slow moves. It's a rapid attack. So, you're going to make that attack. You're going to have these chances to put pressure on the opponent. And so sometimes I'll play a slower opening against a beginner, not a beginner, but like against someone who an unknown newer player. Sometimes I'll play like something else. And then I lose, and I'm just like, why didn't I just play my stuff? And so from now, so now, like, because on the scars of some of these over the board losses against lower level players have made me just say, you know what, I'm playing my openings always. I'm not going to do, unless this is like sort of a known sort of teaching game. I'm not going to do my just static rook on Aguma. I'm not going to do a fourth file rook kind of just to be a punching bag kind of thing. I'm going to play my stuff. And that way, at least, if I come out of it, when I come out of it, there's no, not regret, but if there's no feelings of, why didn't I just play my stuff? And yeah, there was something else I was going to say there. I'm not sure. You have the biggest problem with playing against people who you know are much stronger than you. You immediately play worse, second guess yourself and blunder, as if your spirit immediately gave up. So there are levels to this. We're getting into podcast territory right now. We're definitely getting into podcast territory. I have thought about this a lot. There are levels to this. So there are some players who I simply cannot play against. There's some players who are so good, and they have me so mentally beaten before the game has even started that I will just flat out blunder pieces against them. I will play against them, and I will try so hard just to not blunder and just to get out of the middle game. So two of these people, two of them, just to put an example. One is the 2024 US Shogi champion, who I've played many times over the board, and probably the best game the second best game I ever played against him was the first game I ever played against him, where I didn't know that he was godlike. And then after that, except for one or two games where I've played out of my mind and had good positions, he just crushed me, but not even crushed me. I crushed myself. So that's one person that I just flat out will lose to. I'll beat myself in the early middle game, if not the opening, because it's like I'm looking at every single move on the board. I'm trying so hard that it all collapses. And the other person that this has started to happen after playing him 2 or 3 times as he got good is the person I interviewed. I think it was episode 16 or 17. The grandmaster Steven, who Z Kid, for those of you who know his username. The number of games that I've played against him, over the board now, where I just blunder my silver as he does the counter measure, what is it called? The Ishikawa Sensei study course, the Urshinryu countermeasure. I quote air quote the countermeasure because I don't think it's a countermeasure personally. Like I think Urshinryu is just fine. I think Urshinryu is. Look, what do I know? I would be arguing or disagreeing with a former Shorikai member. So obviously, take his feelings more than mine. But I will just say that I do not feel it is a countermeasure. I think both sides are just fine, especially at my level. So there's that. And in some ways, I don't mind playing against it. I think I think it's much harder to play against opposing rook than it is to play against the countermeasure. But like he plays it, but he's so solid and so good that I think I just overextend. I feel like against him or against these super strong players, I feel like I have to overextend. And I've heard people mention this on podcasts also, where for some reason they think, and I think, when I'm playing these people that, I can't just win with my regular stuff. He's a much better player, so I can't win with my regular stuff. I have to do something special. But that makes no sense. How can I do something special if I don't know it? It's like if I'm doing something that I don't know, if I am veering into a territory that I don't know very well and I don't play much, how is it possibly going to be special? and like, what would make me believe that this special thing isn't something that he would already know? It's a very strange way of thinking. But I heard on this chess podcast someone saying the same thing. It's like, okay, well, I'm not alone in this. I'm not alone in this misconception. And I thought it was kind of funny. So that's at the high level. But there are other players at their strength. I'll just say sort of at their strength, who I have no problem playing. And I really enjoy playing, and I'll have good games. Obviously, I'm almost never going to win those games, but I'll do just fine. I'll play my best shogi. I don't know why it is, and I don't know why that is, and but then there's one step lower than that, which would be like one step higher than me. And I think I generally play pretty well against them. I don't know. I don't know. But there are some people who I just can't play. I think Koshiro would be one of those people also. Like the people like Z Kid and the 2024 champ. I think, if I had to play Koshiro, I would just crumble. It wouldn't even make it out of mid game, I think. And maybe I'm self-defeatist with that, but like if and when I go to that Pan America tournament, if somehow the format structure is such that I would have to play Koshiro in one of those rounds, oh boy. Not that it wouldn't be an easy win for him anyway, but it's going to be like an even easier win. Capybara, you say the way you check strength of new players at the club who say they play online is just playing Climbing Silver and watching the reaction. Immediate skill check. That's tough. That's true. That's true. That's true. But I do think that it's still possible, even at a high level, to get, or higher, not high level, higher level, to get tricked by Climbing Silver. Like Climbing Silver, like when I'm Gote as Urashino Ryu and my opponent does Climbing Silver is extremely strong, and I get tripped up sometimes. Does that mean, what are you doing, Atari? Does that mean I'm a beginner? Like, I don't know, but I've certainly been made to look like a beginner many times by that, even recently. Gosh, Atari has got the zoomies. She is running around like crazy. The Shogi Wars thing, I think is a good estimation. When someone says, when someone's new, they give their Shogi Wars, and I think that's a pretty good sense. In my experience, it's extremely accurate. And I do know, I have been told that Japanese players also, because they don't have, like there's no USCF, US Chess Federation, or FIDE or whatever. A lot of them will share their Shogi Wars to give that sense of how strong they are. NinWorld, nice to see you. It's harder with Urashino to counter in early Climbing Silver. In classical openings, it's easier to deal with that. Exactly. And so, like, as Gote, when I play Urashino Ryu against the obvious Bogin, I essentially don't play Urashino Ryu. I go into my Yagura. And even then, if I play it, properly, I make my Yagura, I get into the position, it's still tricky for me to deal with the inevitable trades on the edge, because I don't see it. So not only am I not only am I pushed into a position that is not my main opening, I'm pushed into a position that's not my main opening, and I have very little experience with. So and it's a tricky one. So, it's tough. It's definitely tough. Capybara, you have such a problem against a guy who taught you to play shogi. You can defeat players stronger than him, but you play horribly. Yeah, I think also, that would also be, I think, one of my difficulties in playing Koshiro. So, not only is he a million times better than I will ever be, and not only am I completely intimidated by him, and not only does he know my game better than I do, but he's also my teacher, and I don't want to beat him, so it's like, it's like a quadruple whammy there, where, even if the moons aligned and just craziness happened such that I could win, I wouldn't want to win, because I don't want to beat him. It's Foradun. You know how easy it is to lose. Anything can happen. You're primed by your attitude. And that's the thing. I agree with that. And that is the mantra. The mantra that I see magic-based. I hate magic-based. I see your comment. Yeah. No, I have not. But that is the mantra that I tell myself. When I am trying to play, these guys. Not that I really play these guys very often anymore, because the 2024 champ has left the area, and Z-Kid has also left the area, so I don't get a chance to play them over the board anymore, like I used to. I regularly play them, but so that would be the mantra, is that it's my my saying. I tell my saying to myself: Shogi isn't a hard game. Shogi is a hard game to win and an easy game to lose. I tell myself that, and I think about the beginners that beat me, and it's like, okay, anything can happen in a game of shogi. and I've had some good wins. So it's like I tell myself that, but then for some reason, especially against those two players, against Z-Kid and the 2024 champ, I think my brain just short circuits because my brain is trying so hard to play well. For whatever reason, it is, and it just goes, it overheats. Hey, Nightwalker, nice to see you. Yeah, Jack-o'-lantern is good. Jack-o'-lantern is very strong. It's just hard. It's just it is just hard to play sort of against. It's hard to play against your heroes. It's hard to play against your teacher. It's hard to play against people that play in a way that's just so intimidating. Okay, I see. Okay, I won't open this on. Let me open this off stream. I see a message from the. Oops. Just quickly, YouTube did not allow that link. Oops. So I'm going to see if this is suitable for sharing here. And it's just a shogi board. It's just a shogi board. I don't know what this is. Okay. I don't know if that's the shogi equivalent of a Rickroll. But and now lishogi just gave me an error about notifications. Okay. I wish I could see where this guy was on the road. Yeah, Jack-o'-lantern is, I think, in the 2 to 3 Dan level, at least. How many subs for Truck Castle Week? Well, I mean, if you gift 5 subs, I'll do a Truck Castle Week. I'll be a dancing bear. I'll do that. We'll do Truck Castle on lishogi. If anyone wants to donate to making them rated games, I'll do that. I'll dance. I will dance. The sub comes in and I say how high. I don't know. Let's go into the lishogi study section here. Okay, well, there's castles here. Let's see if there's a truck castle. I'm going to expand the view here just to show more of the screen. So where's truck? Truck castle, Toraku Gakoi. And it's empty. It's an empty chapter. It's an empty chapter. Which is appropriate. All right, so let me back out. Let me look to see if there's another one. Nakahara. Here's truck. Okay, so here's truck castle. Oh, okay. I mean, I could conceivably make this. I mean, I have played this before. This is basically like it's like a bonanza. It's like a bad bonanza. Right? It's a worse bonanza castle. No? So what are you going to do about all this space on the edge? I mean, not obviously these pieces are going to be here. But like, what are you going to do about this space? It's played against Central Rook. Yeah, I could see that. When I was a Central Rook player, I had plenty of players just jam the center with golds and silvers. Yeah, they jam the center and they're like, okay, what now? What are you gonna do now? Yeah, 8-8 and 7-9 look very weak to my immediately to my eyes. Those look very weak. You know, pull the lance up. You get rook drops. You get also like this is going to be terrible for drops. Yeah, and Benjamin, yeah, if there's a rook on the back rank, you're hosed. Yeah, Bonanza has the silver here. Exactly. That's why I'm saying it feels like a worse Bonanza. Because I think the silver here is feels to me to be much better than this. But obviously, you know, this is just my noob knee-jerk reaction to this. It feels like this would have to be very specific. But you'd have to be very careful at what you exchange. You know, because once the game is underway, it's going to be very easy to pull this lance forward without anything else here. But anyway, yeah, it'd be interesting. So you play this every game, Capybara? Maybe that's why you lose. Maybe that's why you lose against the new players, because you're playing Truck Castle. The only thing worse than a light castle is a bad castle. The pinwheel is also an interesting idea. I don't recall pinwheel. You mix it up with Hyamino. I feel like I have played Pinwheel on Shogi Wars. That I think I have. That there's a badge. I think there's a Pinwheel badge, and I think I have it. I still have these notes up. This is that day that I got all these castles. Oh, this is not showing up on stream. Hold on. Let me get to a scene that is going to show my background stuff. So here's. Sorry. So here's that list of badges. This was 2024, September 30th. I got all these badges on that day. I just want to remember. I just want to bring this up. You know, what kind of dynamic play that I used to stream. I got all these badges on that day. How is that even possible? I think this was the day that I was trying. So I made that video. I made that one of my few sort of edited videos that I have on YouTube is that Shogi War Yagura badge video. And so it shows me making. This is before this was before Shogi Wars added the examples of how to make badges, where it was just sort of a guess at what would trigger the badges. You know, I made a video showing how to trigger the various Yagura badges. Okay, so there's no pinwheel here. So what is pinwheel? Fujimori. Hey, Yloigh. Fujimori mentions after playing Truck Castle, he always gets comments from truck drivers. Wait, what? Like, shogi playing truck drivers? Pinwheel is not in this list of castles here, so I still don't know what Pinwheel is. It's not in this list of castles in this study that I'm looking at. Hey, Don Vito, it's been a while. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good new year. There's a Wikipedia page on the shogi windmill. Okay, let's take a look. Actually, let's see if there's a study. We're on lishogi. Let's take a look. Let's use the lishogi study feature. Central Rook study. That seems about right. Maybe not. Okay, well, I don't see Pinwheel. Let me bring up an incognito window. Pinwheel. Kazaguruma. An opening with a rook. Let me switch the scene. An opening with the... Just make sure it's still showing. Okay, so we're still showing. In an opening with the rook on the bottom rank 9. Bottom rank 9 or rank 1 if played by white. By white. Not to start that old discussion again. The Pinwheel name comes from the... Where's Rico? I think Rico's probably asleep. So it's good. It's good that we're not torturing Rico with the white black term. You know, the non-gote sente. Okay. Anyway, I got distracted. I got distracted by the poor translation on this page. It's an opening with the rook on the bottom rank 9 or rank 1, enabling it to switch between a ranging rook and a static rook attack. So this is, that's a similar idea to what I do with Danako. You know, the idea is you still have your static rook attack, but you also can bring it over here. The Pinwheel name comes from the way the king is able to rotate around the gold positioned on the 5/8 square, as if it were a wheel. Oh, so the Pinwheel is not about the rook. It is about the rook, but it's named by the king. Your intro course opens tomorrow. 8 classes. 8 people in the class. Wow. How long? How long is the class? An hour? Good luck. Good, huge, good. Forward and shared a link. Wow. So it's an opening. It's not necessarily a castle. It's an opening. Ito's Pinwheel. So Ito's Pinwheel is a static rook. Development from Habu. Wait, what? Wait, Habu played this? As central rook or as static rook? Well, let's see. Pawn 7/6, pawn 8/4. Okay, so he's he's I assume he's sente. Silver 6/8. Ooh, okay. Silver 6/8, pawn 3/4, pawn 6/6, rook 5. So it is central rook. So Habu played central rook in serious games. Was shogi more interesting back in the 90s? Before the engines, before engine prep became a thing? Was shogi more was shogi more varied? Like professional shogi? Benjamin Shua, you say yes. Interesting. An actual online game, but no pro. Has there been a Truck Castle pro? I mean, I assume someone in a pro game has made a Truck Castle formation. But has anyone seriously played Truck as a pro? So he gets his king over. But where's the pinwheel now? I in the central rook, I don't see how it's a pinwheel. It's like a Kamuramino style, sort of. The king isn't spinning around the silver or the gold. It's just castling. Why is this called pinwheel? Oh, I would love to see if Pro played Duck in a serious game. That's why I would love to see something like I'm wearing my chess.com shirt. That's why I would love to see a titled Tuesday for Shogi. You know, online, fast time control, every week, you know, or often enough with many rounds so that pros would play, you'd get the chance of seeing some crazy stuff. And I bet you would get Duck in some of those. I bet. I would love to see it. So I'm not understanding what is. This almost just looks like it's going to be the silver horns. You know, the king hasn't gone into the. You know, it's not Kamuramino yet, so I guess that's why. But what makes this pinwheel? Can anyone explain that? Like, what makes this? You know, I understand why the static rook one is pinwheel. I don't understand what makes the central rook one pinwheel. It seems like semi-normal stuff. Weird. Weird. All right, let me minimize that. Let's get back over here. Time is at 10:50. Okay. Let's do okay, this is a 20-second casual. I was going to say I'll do this. I don't love this thing that I see on lishogi where there's a lot of weirdo time controls. Maybe 20 is not so weirdo. But it does seem unfortunate that people don't stick to sort of more common stuff. Oh, so you have 2.5 with 3 breaks for you, 2.5 hours with 3 breaks for you included. 15 minutes of theory, then example for another 15 minutes, then the smoking break 10 minutes, then another 30 plus minutes dedicated to Tsume-like tasks with brainstorming in pairs, and then they'll play a game between themselves under your supervision. Awesome! Awesome! Oh man! Oh, good luck! Good luck! When is it? Tomorrow. 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 All right, let's get a 10-second game against Anonymous. I play as Sente. Urashino Ryu.
1、1、1、
1、
1、
1、
1、1、1、2、3、1、2、1、1、
Okay, so we're getting the well, not necessarily. I was gonna say we're getting the countermeasure after I said it's not a countermeasure. Someone's gonna come on and be like, "Oh, you don't think it's a countermeasure?"
5、1、1、
All right, yeah. So we are getting the countermeasure.
2、1、2、3、4、1、1、1、2、3、4、5、6、1、2、3、
It's fine.
1、1、2、1、2、3、4、1、2、3、4、5、6、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、1、1、1、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、1、
Ah.
3、4、5、6、7、8、9、
Interesting. So I don't think that's good. Actually, I know that's bad.
2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、
Ah.
1、1、2、3、
Yeah, this is. I think I'm in not the greatest spot here.
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、1、2、
Okay, fair enough.
4、5、6、7、8、9、1、2、3、1、
Yeah, yeah. I opened it. Oh well. Oh well.
1、
Yeah, let's resign. Good game.
4、5、
Good game. Good game. That sucks. That's I even saw it. All right, let's do another one. I don't want a rematch. I don't want a rematch. I want to play another game. I want to play another game. Good game. Oh, I think he's here. All right. Well, perfect timing. Sorry. Perfect timing. Thank you, everyone. I will see you later. Take care. Have a great remainder of the well, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.